When we talk about the phrase over 60 in the context of senior health communication and viral YouTube strategy, we're tapping into a deeply resonant psychological and emotional trigger that instantly signals relevance, urgency, and personal connection for an older audience. This two-word phrase does more than identify an age bracket. It functions as a direct call-out to identity, stage of life, and perceived vulnerability. People in their 60s and beyond are acutely aware that their bodies are changing. Their energy is not what it once was, and their health decisions carry greater consequences. Seeing over 60 at the beginning of a video title immediately sparks curiosity because it assures the viewer that the content is tailored specifically for them, not for younger adults or the general population. This personalization is critical in grabbing attention in the crowded YouTube environment, where specificity wins over vague promises. The age marker works on multiple psychological levels. First, it affirms inclusion. Many seniors feel overlooked by mainstream media and health discussions that often focus on younger demographics. By explicitly stating over 60, the content creator positions themselves as an ally speaking directly to this group, making the viewer feel seen and valued. Second, it subtly implies that there are unique risks and opportunities tied to this age that others don't face. This creates an immediate sense of exclusivity. The information is not just general health advice, but rather something uniquely important for their stage of life. Third, it triggers what marketers call the identity frame. When a person sees themselves named in the message, they're more likely to pay attention because it aligns with their self-concept. On a more practical level, over 60 also carries with it an implicit acknowledgement of vulnerability and authority. Seniors know that age increases susceptibility to issues like memory loss, cardiovascular decline, arthritis, and metabolic problems. Thus, when a title leads with this phrase, it primes the brain for urgency. If I'm in this group, I need to know what comes next, because the consequences for me could be serious. This ties directly into the natural fear seniors hold about decline, disease, and loss of independence. They are motivated to click because they don't want to miss potentially life-changing or life-saving information. At the same time, the phrase reassures them that the content is appropriate for their age. They won't waste time watching a video that doesn't apply to their unique circumstances. From a viral strategy perspective, over 60 functions as a category anchor that aligns with search intent. Many seniors and their family members search health information using age markers, such as memory after 60 inches or joint pain over 65. Including this directly in the title not only hooks viewers emotionally, but also optimizes for it signals to YouTube's algorithm and the viewer alike that the video is highly relevant to that age demographic. The combination of psychological resonance and search optimization makes it a dual-power keyword in the senior health niche. The tone embedded within over 60 is also worth unpacking. It carries a mix of authority and warning. Authority, because it suggests that this content will reveal knowledge not commonly available to the average person, almost like a doctor addressing a specific patient population. Warning, because it reminds the viewer of their age, subtly signaling that they are in a stage where mistakes or habits can have much higher stakes. This duality between guidance and caution keeps seniors attentive and drives higher engagement rates. There's also a community-building aspect. When viewers see over 60, it creates a sense of belonging to a shared group with shared concerns. They may feel less isolated in their health struggles because the title reminds them that many others in their age range are experiencing similar challenges. That shared identity fosters a deeper connection to the creator, who appears to understand them at a more personal level. In content strategy, this can translate into stronger loyalty, repeat viewership, and higher trust in health-related recommendations. Ultimately, the brilliance of over 60 lies in its brevity and specificity. It encapsulates an entire demographic, a set of fears, and a promise of tailored solutions in just 2 words. It acknowledges aging without being insulting, while simultaneously making it clear that the stakes are high enough to warrant immediate attention. It's an open door into a conversation that seniors feel is meant only for them. And in the world of health-related YouTube content, that kind of direct resonance is invaluable. The phrase "stop eating" is a commanding, action-driven directive that immediately grabs attention and signals urgency, authority, and consequence. Unlike softer language such as avoid or consider, the word stop delivers a non-negotiable command. It taps into a primal instinct that when something must be stopped, danger is involved. This creates an instant sense of alarm and compels the viewer to want to know more about what action or behavior is being forbidden. By pairing it with eating, a deeply ingrained daily habit that everyone engages in, the phrase becomes personally relevant to nearly every potential viewer. It frames ordinary behavior as potentially harmful, instantly sparking curiosity and concern about what they might be doing wrong. Stop eating works particularly well in the senior health niche because food is a central part of daily life, tied not just to survival but also to comfort, tradition, and routine. For seniors, eating habits are often long established, sometimes carried over for decades. To be told that something they are consuming is dangerous creates cognitive dissonance, which fuels the need to resolve that tension by clicking on the video to find out exactly which food is the culprit. It plays into the natural fear that something ordinary and trusted may actually be harming their health, especially as age increases vulnerability to issues like high blood pressure, cholesterol buildup, memory decline, or digestive challenges. The tone of command in Stop Eating also suggests expertise. It positions the creator as someone who knows something the audience doesn't, as if a doctor or specialist is issuing an important instruction. This authoritative framing works because seniors tend to place higher trust in direct medical guidance. They want clarity, not ambiguity. While younger audiences may prefer exploratory or optional phrasing, older viewers often respond more strongly to definitive statements. Stop Eating provides that clarity and authority, removing confusion about whether the advice is optional. It feels urgent, absolute, and necessary. From a psychological standpoint, Stop Eating triggers what is known as the forbidden fruit effect. When people are told that something is harmful or off limits, their mind instantly gravitates toward wanting to know what that thing is, especially if it could be something they currently enjoy. Seniors may think of their favorite night snack, daily breakfast choice, or a comforting drink, and wonder if that is what the warning refers to. This creates a tension that can only be resolved by watching the video, making it a highly effective click-through mechanism. The curiosity gap between what they are told to stop eating and what that item actually is drives engagement. Another layer of effectiveness is the implied consequence. Stop Eating doesn't just tell someone to quit a habit, it implies that continuing the behavior will lead to harm. For seniors who are already concerned about memory loss, heart problems, or general aging, the stakes feel high. They are motivated by both fear of decline and desire for longevity, so this phrasing resonates with their emotional drivers. Unlike younger demographics who may feel invincible, people over 60 understand that small changes in habits can have serious health consequences, so they are more likely to take the warning seriously and act on it. Strategically, Stop Eating also creates a simple and digestible promise. The video will reveal something clear, specific, and actionable. Seniors often prefer practical advice over abstract explanations. By framing content as a specific food or snack they must stop, the title assures them that the information will be straightforward and immediately useful. This sense of practicality encourages not just clicks, but also watch time. Since the audience expects to receive an actionable takeaway that could potentially improve their health, there's also a subtle element of empowerment hidden within the phrase. While it begins with a command, it implies that the viewer has control over the outcome. If they heed the warning and stop eating the harmful food, they may protect themselves from memory decline, arterial damage, or inflammation. This gives the viewer hope that change is possible, that they are not doomed by their age, and that a simple decision can make a real difference. For an older audience often faced with feelings of loss of control, this sense of agency is powerful. In terms of YouTube's viral dynamics, Stop Eating is highly shareable. When viewers encounter strong directives framed around everyday behavior, they are likely to share it with friends or family members who might also be engaging in the risky habit. For seniors who belong to community groups, church circles, or family networks, sharing health warnings becomes a way of looking out for others. This expands reach beyond the initial clicker and strengthens the viral loop. Ultimately, Stop Eating is not just a phrase but a psychological trigger. It blends authority, fear, curiosity, and empowerment into 3 short words. It demands attention, promises clear and specific information, and frames ordinary behavior as potentially harmful. which is exactly the formula that drives clicks, retention, and trust in the senior health niche. The phrase popular night snack combines three elements that work together to create both familiarity and shock value when used in senior health messaging. The word popular signals something ordinary, common, and widely consumed. It immediately lowers the barrier to curiosity because the audience knows it's not an obscure or rare food item, it's something they have likely eaten or at least heard of. Seniors, like any audience, are drawn to content that feels directly relevant to their lives, and the word popular increases the likelihood that the subject applies to them personally. It creates a sense of inclusivity, suggesting that many people, possibly including the viewer, engage in this habit, which heightens the tension when it's framed as harmful. The word night adds another powerful layer of intrigue. At night carries both cultural and medical implications. Many seniors enjoy evening snacks while watching television, reading, or winding down for bed. It's a deeply ingrained routine that provides comfort and satisfaction. By pointing specifically to night, the phrase targets a vulnerable time of day associated with relaxation and lowered willpower. Seniors may already suspect that nighttime eating could impact weight, sleep quality, or digestion, so highlighting this timing intensifies curiosity. They want to know whether their routine snack before bed is secretly sabotaging their memory, heart, or energy levels. By anchoring the danger to a particular part of the day, the phrase moves beyond generic food warnings and becomes a specific habit-based threat that feels more personal. The final word, snack, seals the emotional pull. Snacks are often seen as harmless indulgences compared to full meals. They are small, casual, and usually comforting. Seniors may think of crackers, cookies, fruit, or toast, simple foods that feel innocent. To suggest that a snack could cause serious harm disrupts expectations and creates cognitive dissonance. It sparks the question, how can something so small and routine carry such risk? That tension is exactly what drives clicks and engagement. The word snack also taps into universality. Everyone snacks, especially at night, so the message applies broadly while still feeling individually relevant. For seniors, this phrase works on a deeper emotional level. Food is more than nutrition at this stage of life. It is tied to tradition, comfort, and sometimes even coping with loneliness or stress. A popular night snack may represent a ritual that brings joy. To suggest that this ritual could be dangerous introduces an element of fear that makes the viewer desperate to know which food is being referenced. The potential for losing a beloved comfort food or learning that a harmless indulgence is actually toxic triggers a stronger emotional reaction than a simple health tip ever could. From a strategic standpoint, popular night snack operates as a curiosity gap. The viewer knows they eat snacks at night. They know those snacks are common, but they don't know which specific one is being called out as dangerous. This creates unresolved tension that can only be satisfied by clicking the video. The phrase works even if the actual snack is something the viewer doesn't consume regularly, because the universality of the setup makes them wonder and compare it to their own habits. There is also a subtle element of judgment embedded in the word popular. If something is widely consumed but harmful, it suggests that many people are unknowingly making a mistake. This plays into the desire to feel smarter and more informed than the average person. Seniors, in particular, often value wisdom in making careful choices, so the promise of insider knowledge about a popular night snack gives them a sense of empowerment. They feel they are gaining access to information that others might be ignoring, which enhances the appeal. The time-based specificity of night also taps into sleep-related anxieties common in older adults. Sleep becomes more fragmented with age, and seniors are acutely aware of how diet can affect rest. If a nighttime snack is linked to poor memory, restless sleep, or cardiovascular strain, the concern becomes even more urgent. The viewer is not just worried about the food itself, but about how it ties into other issues they are already experiencing. This layering of concerns makes the phrase more powerful than a generic snack warning when used in a viral title. Popular night snack balances comfort and danger. It takes something familiar and reframes it as a hidden risk, creating an irresistible tension. It tells seniors that something they likely enjoy or see as harmless could actually be undermining their health in a serious way. This mix of relatability, specificity, and surprise ensures that the phrase functions as a strong curiosity driver and emotional trigger that keeps viewers engaged and eager to learn more. The phrase, silently wrecking, is a powerful linguistic device because it combines two emotionally charged ideas, invisibility and destruction. Silently suggests that something harmful is happening out of sight, without obvious warning signs, and beyond the individual's immediate awareness. For seniors, this plays directly into one of their greatest fears, that health problems may be developing inside their bodies without any noticeable symptoms until it is too late. When paired with wrecking, a word that conveys aggressive, almost violent destruction, the phrase delivers a dramatic sense of urgency. It doesn't just imply slow damage. It frames the situation as active and harmful, creating the impression that an unseen enemy is attacking their health. This duality of hidden danger and severe consequence makes the phrase incredibly effective in grabbing attention. For older audiences, the fear of silent conditions is particularly acute. Seniors are aware that many of the most dangerous health issues, such as high blood pressure, cholesterol buildup, early dementia, and kidney problems, often progress without pain or obvious symptoms. They know that by the time symptoms appear, the damage can already be significant or even irreversible. Silently wrecking taps into this lived anxiety by reminding them that danger may already be present in their daily life, hidden under the surface, quietly eroding their memory, energy, or heart function. This makes the phrase not just intriguing but highly motivating. They feel compelled to find out what is causing the hidden damage so they can stop it before it's too late. The psychological weight of the word silently also suggests betrayal. It implies that something familiar, even trusted, is working against the viewer without their knowledge. When used in the context of food, drink, or daily habits, it makes ordinary behaviors feel risky. Seniors may immediately think of their evening snack, morning coffee, or bedtime routine and wonder if those comforting rituals are secretly harming them. This creates a powerful curiosity gap. The audience knows something is wrong, but they don't yet know what the hidden culprit is. The only way to resolve the tension is to click and watch the video. Wrecking adds intensity to the warning. It doesn't just suggest mild harm or gradual wear, it implies catastrophic damage. The word evokes images of structures being torn apart, vehicles being smashed, or storms destroying everything in their path. In a health context, this dramatizes the danger and elevates the stakes. It tells the viewer that the hidden problem isn't minor. It is actively destroying something precious, whether it's their memory, their arteries, or their nervous system. For seniors, this aligns with the fear of losing independence, clarity, and vitality, which makes the threat feel deeply personal. The severity of wrecking ensures that the viewer doesn't dismiss the warning as trivial. Strategically, the phrase also works because it introduces a strong sense of urgency without revealing specifics. It suggests that harm is already underway and continuing at this very moment, which motivates immediate action. The viewer doesn't feel they can postpone learning more because the damage is described as ongoing and invisible. This kind of language leverages the psychology of immediacy. Something is silently wrecking your health right now. You can't afford to ignore it. Another layer of effectiveness comes from the phrase's balance of fear and hope. While it warns of hidden destruction, it also implies that there may be a way to stop or reverse the damage once the problem is identified. This is a crucial dynamic for seniors, who may be wary of fear-mongering unless there is a clear promise of a solution. The title promises not just exposure of a hidden threat, but also guidance on how to protect themselves. This blend of alarm and empowerment is what keeps viewers both engaged and trusting. In content creation, silently wrecking is versatile because it can be applied to multiple health topics. It works with memory decline, arterial plaque, lung function, nerve damage, and even sleep quality. The universality of the phrase means that it can be reused in different contexts without losing its emotional impact. Each time, it creates the same psychological tension: something unseen is causing serious harm, and delivers the same compelling need for resolution at a deeper level. The phrase also resonates with seniors' broader life perspective. Many in this age group reflect on how quickly time passes and how certain changes seem to sneak up without warning. They already know that aging itself is a silent process of decline in some areas, so the phrase feels not only believable but urgent. By giving a concrete shape to that abstract fear, Silently wrecking creates a clear and immediate hook that cuts through noise and demands attention. The phrase "your memory" is one of the most emotionally charged triggers in senior health communication because it goes beyond physical wellness and strikes at the core of identity, independence, and dignity. Unlike muscles, joints, or even the heart, which can often be managed with lifestyle changes or medical intervention, memory carries unique weight because it is tied to who a person is. It holds personal history, relationships, and the ability to navigate daily life. For seniors, the fear of losing memory is not just about forgetfulness. It is about losing themselves, becoming a burden to loved ones, and facing the terrifying possibility of dementia or Alzheimer's. When a video title highlights your memory, it immediately cuts to one of the most sensitive and urgent concerns of aging audiences, creating a strong emotional pull that few other topics can rival. The word "your" personalizes the message and makes it direct. Instead of talking about memory in a general or abstract way, it speaks to the viewer as an individual. This personalization is critical in building connection and urgency. A title that says "your memory" feels like a one-to-one conversation, almost as if a doctor or trusted advisor is speaking directly to them. Seniors are more likely to click on content that addresses them personally, especially when the subject touches something as intimate as mental clarity. It shifts the concern from a broad health issue to an immediate personal threat or opportunity. Memory is also a universal concern. Even those who are not currently struggling with diagnosed cognitive decline often notice small changes after 60, such as misplacing items, forgetting names, or taking longer to recall details. These small lapses can trigger significant worry because they are often interpreted as warning signs of something more serious. By focusing on your memory, a video title taps into this everyday anxiety and magnifies it into a point of action. The audience doesn't want to dismiss these small slips. They want answers, prevention strategies, and reassurance that they are not on a downward spiral. Another reason this phrase is powerful is its association with independence. Seniors often fear losing the ability to live alone, manage finances, or drive safely. Memory plays a central role in maintaining autonomy, and any suggestion that it is under threat hits directly at this fear. Content that frames itself around protecting your memory is not just about brain health, it is about preserving independence, avoiding nursing homes, and continuing to enjoy meaningful connections with family and friends. This emotional weight makes the phrase deeply clickable because it promises to address a life-defining issue. From a strategic standpoint, memory is also one of the most searched and shared health topics among older demographics. Family members, particularly adult children caring for aging parents, are also highly engaged with memory-related content. Titles that feature your memory attract not only seniors themselves, but also their caregivers and loved ones, broadening the potential audience. This dual relevance enhances discoverability and makes the phrase especially effective for viral reach. Psychologically, the phrase also carries an element of hope. While it introduces the possibility of decline, it simultaneously suggests that there may be ways to protect or restore memory. The use of "your" makes the viewer feel they can take control over their outcome. Instead of memory loss being inevitable, the framing implies that their actions, habits, or choices could make a difference. This balance of fear and empowerment is essential in health content. Seniors want to be warned about dangers, but they also want to believe there are solutions they can apply. The phrase works well with a variety of emotional tones, from alarming to encouraging. In a warning context, your memory can be paired with language like destroying, wrecking, or poisoning to create fear and urgency. In a hopeful context, it can be linked with boost, protect, or sharpen to offer solutions and optimism. This versatility makes it a cornerstone phrase for viral titles, as it can be adapted to multiple angles while always remaining highly relevant. Finally, your memory resonates with cultural and generational themes. The current senior population has lived through decades of valuing hard work, personal responsibility, and legacy. Memory ties directly into legacy, as it is through memory that they preserve stories, wisdom, and connections across generations. The fear of forgetting or being forgotten makes the topic resonate not only personally, but socially. Content that speaks to your memory is not just promising health improvement, it is promising preservation of self, family bonds, and the ability to continue playing an active role in the lives of loved ones. The phrase warning tone operates as a subtle but highly effective psychological mechanism in senior health communication because it frames the message in urgency, authority, and seriousness before the content is even consumed. It is not simply about the words themselves, but about the way those words are delivered, the emotional coloration that makes them feel like a health alert rather than casual advice. A warning tone signals that the stakes are high and that ignoring the information could lead to harm. For seniors, who often live with heightened awareness of their vulnerability to illness, decline, and emergencies, this tonal quality is especially impactful. It draws their attention quickly, keeps them alert, and convinces them that what they are about to hear matters directly to their well-being. In written form, such as a YouTube title, the warning tone is carried by specific word choices: stop, never, poison, destroys words that leave no room for ambiguity or optional interpretation. These words carry a sense of prohibition and danger, which naturally raises curiosity and concern. A senior reading a title with a warning tone doesn't see it as casual clickbait. Instead, it feels like a direct health advisory, almost akin to a doctor's notice or a safety recall. This sense of seriousness is what separates effective senior health messaging from generic lifestyle content. When used correctly, it builds trust because it suggests the creator is looking out for the audience's safety rather than simply entertaining them. The emotional impact of a warning tone is magnified by the context of aging. Seniors are more likely to pay close attention to health-related warnings because they understand the fragility of their condition compared to younger audiences who might dismiss such messages. Many older adults have already experienced health scares, hospital visits, or the loss of friends and family members to preventable conditions. As a result, when a video title presents information in a warning format, it resonates with their lived reality. They are conditioned to listen for warnings, because those warnings can mean the difference between stability and crisis. The effectiveness of a warning tone also comes from its ability to cut through noise. On platforms like YouTube, where viewers are bombarded with endless titles competing for attention, the warning tone immediately signals priority. It tells the viewer, this is not just another video, this is something you must know now. That prioritization helps content stand out and makes the viewer feel that skipping the video could come at a cost. Seniors, in particular, value clarity and guidance, and a warning tone satisfies that need by making the message urgent and directive rather than optional and vague. Another key factor is how a warning tone triggers protective instincts. For seniors, the instinct is often self-protection, but it can also extend to protecting loved ones. A title written in a warning tone not only encourages them to click for their own sake, but also makes them consider how the information might benefit their spouse, children, or friends. This sharing impulse increases engagement and virality because warnings feel socially responsible to pass along. By leveraging that natural desire to protect, the warning tone extends the reach of the message beyond the initial viewer. The authority conveyed by a warning tone is also central to its effectiveness. Seniors often look for guidance from medical professionals, experts, or authoritative figures. A warning tone mirrors the style of communication they associate with doctors giving important advice or governments issuing health alerts, even if the content comes from a YouTube creator rather than a physician. The tonal choice can elevate the perceived credibility of the message. It makes the creator appear more knowledgeable and concerned, which fosters trust. Psychologically, the warning tone engages the fear response. When the brain perceives a warning, it triggers heightened alertness and attention because it assumes danger may be present. This evolutionary mechanism works perfectly in content strategy, as it ensures that the viewer doesn't simply glance past the title but pauses to consider it. Once curiosity and fear are activated, the viewer feels compelled to resolve that discomfort by learning what exactly the warning is about. This is the curiosity gap in action, amplified by the seriousness of the tone. The warning tone also carries a built-in promise of action. Unlike neutral or encouraging tones, which may simply share tips or advice, a warning suggests that something needs to change immediately. Seniors are attracted to this clarity because it gives them a direct takeaway. Stop this behavior, replace this food, avoid this mistake. They don't have to guess whether the information is relevant or optional. The warning tone makes it clear that it matters to them personally and urgently. In broader communication strategy, The use of warning tone helps establish a brand identity. A creator who consistently frames content with a protective, cautionary tone is seen as a watchful guide, someone who reveals hidden dangers before they cause harm. This fosters long-term loyalty, as seniors feel they can rely on the channel for vigilance and protection in a confusing health landscape, filled with mixed messages and misinformation. By combining fear, urgency, authority, and a sense of care, the warning tone secures not just clicks but enduring trust and engagement from the audience. The phrase curiosity hook describes one of the most essential devices in crafting compelling titles, especially in the senior health niche where attention must be captured quickly and held firmly. At its core, a curiosity hook functions. By creating an information gap, it tells the viewer just enough to make them interested, but withholds a crucial piece of the puzzle so they feel compelled to click in order to resolve the tension. Humans are naturally wired to seek closure, and when a question is raised but not answered, the brain experiences discomfort. This psychological tension becomes the force that drives action, and on platforms like YouTube, that action is clicking. To watch the video. In the senior health space, curiosity hooks carry additional weight because they are tied not only to intellectual curiosity but to fear, hope, and survival instincts. A well-crafted title can spark immediate concern that a common behavior, food, or daily routine may be dangerous. At the same time, it can also spark hope that a simple adjustment could provide relief, protection, or renewed vitality. This dual pull of fear and hope magnifies the curiosity hook's power. Seniors are drawn in not just because they want to know the answer, but because the answer could directly impact their health, independence, and longevity. A curiosity hook is often created by pairing a familiar context with an unknown threat or benefit. For example, a phrase like "this popular night snack is silently wrecking your memory" works because it identifies a situation the audience relates to snacking at night. While withholding the specific snack that is harmful, the audience immediately wonders, is it something I eat? Could I be hurting myself without realizing it? That unanswered question creates an itch that can only be scratched by clicking. The same principle works when presenting lists, such as the 3 drinks that poison your arteries. The viewer knows there are 3 items, but not which ones. The incomplete information keeps them hooked until they find out. For seniors, the effectiveness of a curiosity hook is amplified by their heightened awareness of risk. Unlike younger demographics, who may shrug off health warnings, older adults understand that even small mistakes can carry serious consequences. A curiosity hook, framed around memory, heart health, or mobility, taps into that awareness. It tells them that there may be a hidden danger in their everyday life, and they cannot afford to ignore it. This sense of high stakes makes the gap between what they know and what they don't know even more intolerable, driving them to resolve it quickly by engaging with the content. The curiosity hook also works through personal relevance. Titles that say "over 60 or after 70", combined with an alarming phrase, create an immediate personal connection. The viewer knows the message is for them, which makes the unanswered question inside the hook feel even more urgent. Instead of thinking, "that might be interesting", they think, "that applies directly to me, and I need to know the answer." This personalization makes the curiosity hook sharper and more irresistible. Another key to the curiosity hook is the balance between clarity and mystery. If a title reveals too much, the tension dissolves and the motivation to click disappears. If it reveals too little, it feels vague or manipulative and fails to build trust. The best hooks clearly state the problem space, such as a harmful snack, a dangerous drink, or a hidden daily mistake, while withholding just the right detail to spark questioning. Seniors, in particular, appreciate this balance because they want direct, no-nonsense guidance, but they also respond strongly when part of the story is held back. The sweet spot is creating urgency without giving everything away. Curiosity hooks also create social engagement. When seniors watch content that reveals something surprising, they are more likely to share it with friends, spouses, or children. This act of sharing often starts with the same information gap. "Did you know this snack is harming memory?" The curiosity is passed from one person to another, amplifying the viral potential. The hook does not only capture an individual viewer, it creates conversations that spread the content organically. The emotional dimension of curiosity hooks cannot be overstated. They thrive on pairing common, everyday comfort, items like bread, tea, or bedtime routines with hidden threats or hidden solutions. The shock of realizing that something so normal could be silently harmful drives clicks, while the relief of learning there might be a protective fix keeps viewers engaged. For seniors, who often feel that their health is unpredictable, this play between danger and solution resonates strongly. The curiosity hook becomes not just a click driver, but a way of delivering empowerment through discovery. In content strategy, the curiosity hook functions as the gateway to trust and authority. By consistently delivering on the promises embedded in these hooks, revealing the hidden dangers or fixes accurately and clearly, creators build credibility over time. Seniors learn that when their curiosity is sparked, the content will provide valuable answers. This cycle strengthens engagement and loyalty while making each new curiosity hook even more effective. The phrase danger plus fix implied represents one of the most effective structural formulas in senior health communication because it combines two powerful emotional drivers: fear of harm and hope for resolution. Alone, a danger warning may capture attention, but it risks overwhelming the audience with fear or leaving them paralyzed without a clear path forward. On the other hand, a fix or solution by itself may sound positive but lacks the urgency that compels immediate action. By pairing these two elements together, the message strikes a balance that motivates seniors to pay attention, feel concern, and then feel empowered that they can take control over their health outcomes. This formula taps directly into the psychology of older audiences who are highly attuned to both risk and the desire for simple, actionable solutions. The danger component works because seniors know that age brings heightened vulnerability to health problems. They already carry awareness of conditions like heart disease, memory decline, arthritis, and nerve damage. When a title introduces danger through words like destroys, poison, wrecking, or never, it resonates with their lived reality. They believe that harm could be lurking in everyday choices, and they don't want to miss the chance to uncover it. The intensity of these danger cues ensures that the message does not get ignored or dismissed. Instead, it triggers an instinctive protective response. I must know what this is so I can avoid it. The implied fix prevents that fear from becoming paralyzing. It offers relief, showing that while the threat is real, it is not inevitable. There is something the viewer can do right now to protect themselves. This fix often comes in the form of an alternative food, a corrected habit, or a simple ritual. For seniors, this is especially powerful because it makes the solution feel achievable and within reach. They don't have to rely solely on medications or complex treatments. They can take small steps in their daily life that make a meaningful difference. The promise of an easy fix balances the danger message and keeps them hopeful instead of hopeless. The interplay between danger and fix also creates a strong curiosity gap. A senior sees the warning of danger but doesn't know what specific food, drink, or habit is being referenced. They also see the promise of a fix but don't know what the solution is. This double-layered gap is extremely effective for driving clicks because it leaves two unanswered questions. What is harming me, and what can I do instead? The only way to resolve this tension is to engage with the content, which is why this formula consistently performs well in the health niche. Another reason this approach resonates with older audiences is its alignment with how they process health advice. Seniors often feel overwhelmed by conflicting information and endless lists of do's and don'ts. The danger plus fix model simplifies this complexity into a clear narrative. Here is the bad thing, and here is the good thing. It provides contrast and clarity, which reduces confusion and makes the message memorable. The binary nature of the structure avoid this, do that mirrors the way many doctors communicate with patients, which reinforces trust and authority. Emotionally, the formula leverages both fear and hope, which are two of the strongest motivators for human behavior. The danger component activates fear of decline, disease, or dependency, while the fix component provides hope of prevention, vitality, and control. This back-and-forth emotional movement keeps the viewer deeply engaged. Seniors don't just watch out of concern, they watch with the expectation of relief and empowerment. That emotional journey makes the content more impactful and increases the likelihood that they will take the advice seriously. From a content strategy perspective, danger plus fix implied also increases shareability. Viewers who learn about a hidden danger and its fix often feel compelled to share the information with friends or family. both to protect them from the risk and to provide them with the solution. This social sharing extends the reach of the message beyond the initial viewer, creating a ripple effect that strengthens virality. In senior communities, where word of mouth and trust play a huge role, this sharing dynamic is especially valuable. The fix element also fosters long-term trust. If viewers consistently find that the promised fixes are practical and effective, they will return for more content, confident that they will always walk away with something useful. The danger ensures attention and urgency, but the fix ensures satisfaction and loyalty. This balance is what turns one-time viewers into repeat followers. Ultimately, the danger plus fix implied formula is more than just a marketing device. It reflects the dual reality of aging. Seniors live with the awareness of real risks to their health, but they also carry a deep desire to remain in control, to fight back, and to preserve quality of life. Titles that use this structure validate both sides of that experience, making them not only clickable, but deeply resonant on an emotional and psychological level.